We're back at it. Let's jump right into it. A man stumbled upon abandoned ruins and realized for some reason he knew them by heart. The place is identical to a dust map from Counter-Strike. The video shows shoot to kill paintball arena. Dude. Has that ever happened to you where you've played a game so much that it almost distorts your reality? That happened to me once. I was playing Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain, and you had to go get those shipping containers. And I saw shipping containers at Walmart, and I had the urge to run over and plant a device on them to send them back over to my base. It's the only time I've played a game so freaking much where when I went out into the real world, I was like, oh man, maybe video games do make people more violent. Hayden Christensen recalls going on a walk with George Lucas one evening while filming Revenge of the Sith. George ended the conversation by saying to me, Hayden, you can't change the world. It's not possible. All you can do is try to make your own world, then invite other people to be part of it. It was one of the most profound things that anyone's ever said to me, and it has really informed the way I live my life. Absolutely. I mean, if there was ever a quote that has ever resonated and helped me understand the mind of George Lucas even more, that's it. What a baller banger quote that is. I mean, I totally changed. It's something, it's one of those things where it hits you and you realize everything's come together. You start having visions like you're an Oppenheimer, and it all just starts to make sense. You don't realize you're living like this until someone says it and you're like, now I have direction. Now I know where I'm going. It's the difference between knowing you're supposed to go east and having GPS tell you which roads to actually stay on. New York AG Letitia James, who is suing Valve over loot boxes in Counter-Strike 2 and other games, has been referred to the DOJ for alleged homeowners insurance fraud. It's always the HOA, man. It's always the HOA. It's always some Karen drunk off of power and boxed wine looking to shake a finger at you on two properties. The referrals were filed by Trump administration officials on March 25th. Do nothing, win. Winners win. Does nothing, wins. You want to know why he has to do nothing? Because he ain't doing anything wrong. He's got nothing to hide, nothing to fear. My man is the epitome of why capitalism is the best. My gosh. Oh, that's right. Harry Potter star Papa. I do not know how to pronounce this guy's name. I do not know. He is receiving death threats for playing Snape. Oh my gosh. Well, here's the thing. White people will take on roles to play Moses, Noah, and you lot won't bat an eye. But Snape, a fictional character, is played by a black man, and you whine and complain. It's the same reason why John Boyega's character was destroyed. It's a book. Man. Racist. We're racist. We're racist for not wanting a black Snape. We're racist. We're the problem. However, see if I can find it here. Where is it? Uh-oh. Did I lose it? Let me see if it's here. Where is it? I can't find it. It's gone. I guess I never saved it to begin with. Oh well. Oh well. Man, dude. It must be really hard. Oh, there it is. I thought it was somewhere. I should have organized these better. Okay, so look at this. Look at this right here. If you watch and support this, you are funding trans genocide globally, by the way. Dang. This must be really tough. Oh, let me see if I can get these together real quick, because these are all out of order. Okay. This must be really, really freaking tough, because if you watch this and support this, you're funding trans genocide. But if you're watching this and you don't support Snape, you're actually racist. Dude, if you are a performative, virtue signaling slacktivist, oh my gosh, this is your worst nightmare. If you don't support Harry Potter, you're a racist for not supporting Black Snape. But if you do support Harry Potter, you're transphobic for helping J.K. Rowling earn another dollar. What do you... This is the trolley problem. This is the trolley dilemma for virtue signalers. This dilemma. What do you do? I don't know. Which one do you pick? Do you pick to be a racist or a transphobe? Who's more important? How do you watch this show? What do you steal it now? Do you become a criminal and pirate the show? But then if you do that, you're not supporting him. You're not helping him make another show because now they're not making sales. I don't know. How do you... If I was in their shoes, how would I support this show? I do not know. Let's check out the Harry Potter. Let's check out the Harry Potter trailer real quick.
I told you. You are a normal boy.
Oh, dang.
And you're going to start acting.
This feels a lot more grounded.
You think you're something special?
This feels a lot darker.
There is nothing special
Jeez.
about you.
He just writes it on a letter? Where's the fantasy behind the letter?
But my parents.
Your parents were the kindest, bravest people I ever met. They were funny and clever.
Hagrid just looks like
They stood for what they believed was right.
so-and-so with a beard.
The next time I see you, we'll be in Hogwarts.
There's the train.
Mr. Potter, I think we can expect great things from you.
That looks pretty cool. Okay, they got... I think this part... That stuff looks alright.
Let's see who you are.
Are you really Harry Potter?
I think the only thing that really took it away from me had to have been one, how dark and grounded it is. It kind of feels like it lost its whimsical nature.
They were funny
And then this, I can't see Hagrid. This doesn't feel like a transformation to me. So I guess there was three things. And then finally Black Snape. Black Snape. He was only in for like a frame. He stood out. It just looks too... Oh, is that Dumbledore? it feels so modern. Like they brought it doesn't feel like they're getting lost in another world. It feels like they're still like they've just gone to private school or something. But I'm curious as to how that will feel whenever it gets played on the big screen. Bro, I just don't feel it. Like, I mean, he feels more like a he feels like more of like one of Voldemort's servants. Not a Dementor, but a Death Eater. He comes off, I guess Severus Snape was a Death Eater, so they did nail that part down. So I'm not, maybe they're going for a more sexy Death Eater vibe than the loser, pale skinned snake vibe. He doesn't come off as a loser. This guy comes off as like too cool to be Snape. I think really, here's what I think. I think they put Severus Snape in this position, or they hired this guy in this position so that because Severus Snape is such a beloved character, and Severus Snape is a beloved character because of empathy, because the way he's written, you misunderstand him throughout the whole series. The characters misunderstand him, and then you see that he was a double agent the entire time, and that he had more love in him than almost anyone else in the series. And he dies, never becoming a hero, never becoming anything more than what people ever thought of him. And when you look at the demographics that go on today, that's kind of what they want. That's what a lot of these demographics, a lot of these left progressive leaning people want to be portrayed as themselves. And so it only feels natural that they would put Severus Snape in here. Now, this is all kind of me just grabbing and cross-referencing, but it's a pretty good leap. I don't think they really cared about anything else other than the optic of Severus Snape is misunderstood in it. Now, does the actor, deserve the role? Probably. But this takes me out of it. I feel like Severus Snape takes me out of it. Hagrid kind of takes me out of it. If I Google Hagrid right now, and maybe I'm biased because I was a kid when I saw it, but to me, this feels way more like Hagrid than this ever, because I just see the actor here. I don't even see. I don't. Oh, look, this is a better comparison right here. This feels like I'm looking at a giant. This feels like I'm looking at a dude with a big beard. Like, this feels like a normal dude. Well, this feels like he's larger than life. And I think there's little subtleties that create that larger than life feeling that makes him feel like a giant, other than, putting him next to a kid or putting him next to another person. I think it helps that he has he looks like a peasant. He looks like a peon that would work on the farms, and he looks like he's from a different age, and he's giving off this fantasy vibes. And you feel like you're being transported just from looking at him. Whereas this almost looks too clean. He almost looks too put together and too like he's just a well-together mountain man, which doesn't give off that grisly outdoor feeling. I feel like I'm looking at an actor. And again, I could just be completely biased because as a kid, this was Hagrid for me growing up. But then you see Severus Snape. I think Hermione and Ron and the three kids, they look fine. Professor McGonagall, that looks fine. But you look at these robes and everything. Everything looks so clean. Everything looks so, like it's being filmed with a digital camera. again, clean, pristine, pressed jewelry. Like what was great about the other Harry Potter movies, the original movies, was that they never felt so clean. They always felt like they were dirty, or like they were always hiding, or this was a hidden world, or we went back in time, which made it feel like a different time. But this, I mean, this looks like a dude in a suit handing someone a wand. And the wand looks like it's made out of plastic. It doesn't look like it's made out of wood. This looks pretty cool. I think this feels good. And you got the candle lighting. You got the paper, the books. Some of the candles aren't on. You see the wax. Like, this feels good. But you know, that's such a good, like, it's almost like he's in college fitting in all these schools. I think Hermione looks fine. I think Harry looks fine. They actually, I don't know if they CGI'd this, but they actually have they have lenses on his glasses, whereas like in the other movies, he always had lensless glasses. Like, look, you can see the reflection off of his glasses. You see these rooms, these compartments. This feels like I've gone back in time. This feels like, you know, World War II era, 1940s, 1950s vibes. And because it looks like it's going back in time, but you know it's in the modern age, it feels like you're in a different world. And that's what you want to do. Is make it feel like they're in a different world, and mix in the modern with the old to create this kind of timeless feel and vibe for it all. I think the Quidditch looks great. There's a lot of stuff here. Ron and Hermione look fine. Hermione looks like a completely different person out in the sun. Ron looks pale. They all do look really pale and pasty. My gosh, this kid is pale. He's as white as the freaking snow. But, you know, it's interesting because wasn't the herbologist teacher in the original was this really big, round, fat Hufflepuff, like just great representation of Hufflepuff, like just this person that looks just super jolly and great and looks like that loves to eat and will feed you snacks and cookies and, very caring and nurturing and but at the same time still stern and you know, willing to discipline you. I felt was a great representation of like what a Hufflepuff feels like, what the presentation of a Hufflepuff. This just, you know, if this is the herbologist teacher, this doesn't feel like a Hufflepuff like the movie did. Now Hogwarts Legacy, you know, that Hufflepuff teacher, whoo, man, yeah, let me tell you something. That teacher you'll want to be comforted by that teacher for sure. I think it's great. I think it's cool watching them look as kids. I see, like this right here. See how short his legs look? And then how I feel like this shot, maybe it's because they give him really big clothes, or this shot just he doesn't feel larger than life. Dumbledore looks okay.
Really Harry Potter?
Yeah, these three look fine. These three look. I think they fit. I think it looks all right. I think it looks all right. We'll watch it. And then we'll give it. You know, I'll give it a review. We'll talk about it. I think the biggest thing about the books, because they said they wanted to be more faithful to the books in this. And we'll see how it works as an adaptation and being more faithful as a series. Okay, let's see what's here. We got Goku. Seeing this was the first time I kind of realized this is what it would actually look like if Goku went Super Saiyan. Like, I never conceptually understood or could visualize what that might be, but that's the closest I think that's the closest way, like him actually just being on fire. It's pretty much AI. It's definitely most likely AI. Oh my gosh. Mom pulled through. Phew. Excuse me. I will say this. If anyone's hair is capable of doing some Super Saiyan stuff, it's black people's hair. It just stays in place. It just stays where you want it to stay. We got the Super Mario. We got Star Fox going in the Super Mario Galaxy movie. How fitting. Of course Star Fox would be in the Galaxy movie. I guess we had other cameos in the other one. I love Star Fox. He's getting played by Glenn Powell. So the movie, you know, the movie's pushing more star power. But more than anything, I want there to be a Star Fox video game. Just give me another Nintendo 64 Star Fox. Just do it. Just freaking do it. I think Glenn Powell would be all right as Star Fox. I'm kind of neutral about him. I'm not like freaking out about it. I'm not really freaking out about the Mario Galaxy movie itself. Harry Potter's, we already went over all this Harry Potter stuff. Japanese politician once starred as a Zero Suit Samus. I've actually used this in one of my videos, not realizing it was her. You know, Japanese politics, I feel like are, you know, more and more I understand the love for Japan. She is now Parliament Vice Minister of the Environment. Yeah. That's an environment I'd want to be around for sure. That's what a leap though. This is like every progressive's dream though, to go from model to be someone everybody wants to be with to be someone everybody wants to be. Like, dude, what a freaking glow up, man. Like, I don't even know if that's considered a glow up. Just talk about lateral movement, constantly going up, that is, I think everyone should strive to be that. You want to be someone that everyone wants to be with, and you want to become someone everyone wants to become. That is the way to do it. No words. I've still never seen Highlander, but this is really cool. This makes me want to get into it even more. I don't know how good the series is, so I'm gonna have to review it. But Dave Bautista says he trained 3 hours a day with swords just to keep up with Henry Cavill on the Highlander set. Cavill's speed and precision reportedly pushed everyone to another level, turning the fight scene into something seriously intense and realistic. I hope so. I bet these guys are working their butts off. And the issue is never that the actors don't work hard. The issue is that the cinematography doesn't complement the work. So many times we'll see an actor absolutely kick ass in like the previs, the pre-setup with the stunt coordinators. And then whenever it comes to the filming, it gets ruined by cuts and zoom ins. And it's like, just let us see it. Just let us see it. Who else? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. If you are not against the idea of going back to some cheesy 80s combat where you can clearly see they don't make contact. Or, this one's probably way worse and less popular opinion. We do what China used to do, or probably still does, and we just pay people more to actually take a hit. One of those two things. Now, one of those two things. But I am so much more in favor for seeing them fake a punch and us not losing the gravity of the fight for a awkward, shaky cut. For the purpose of a better like action experience. Gotta pump them guns. Oh, man. Bro. You gotta stop, man. Raising people's electric bill for this. If you're ever nervous, remember Maul was the first Sith to appear 1,000 years. Imagine the pressure. Straight up privilege for Maul, if you tell me. You want to think that's pressure? Imagine being the guy that has to come up after Darth Vader. Imagine having to top, if not become equivalent, if not get people not to think of the Dark Lord himself. I mean, Palpatine's great, but he's a crotchety old man that never leaves his chair, except for in the prequels. But Darth Maul pulled it off. Dooku pulled it off. I mean, you want to know why they pulled it off? It's because they're different iterations of Vader, basically. That's what they are. They're different iterations of Anakin. Yeah. To me, that's more pressure than being the first Sith to appear in 1,000 years. Having to fill the boots of Vader himself. Woo! That's a big one. That's a big boy right there. That's a big boy right there. Pulp Fiction writer Roger Avery on Alex Kurtzman's Star Trek. This dweeb, Alex Kurtzman, comes along and just all over everything, just craps all over it. Wow. Not holding back. It's good to see another writer have some commentary on this. It's good to see that other people respect source material. I think if you're going to continue something, it is absolutely mandatory for you to be faithful to the very thing you're trying to continue. I went in, met with the guy. I was like, hey, I will write for scale. I'll write on your new show. I just want to be part of it. And I basically found out he didn't want anybody who had any kind of fondness for the original show. You want to know why they didn't want those types of people? It's because they wouldn't be able to write this show if they had these types of people on their show. It's because there would be friction, there would be conflict, there would be leaks, there would be complaints, there would be pushback. And like, honestly, respect, because here's the truth. Here's the truth of the matter is when you are trying to do something, you want a cohesive unit. You want a horde that is just going to back you no matter what you do. You want to be a team. Now, I also think a team should hold each other accountable. I don't think a team should be entirely made of yes men. But that's the situation that's happening here, is they didn't want anyone else working on this show because it would only create conflict. It would only create friction. He wanted a bunch of yes people. He wanted to make what he wanted to make. He didn't want to actually continue the legacy of Star Trek. He didn't want to actually be faithful to the series. And if he did, he would have found people that are fans, and more importantly, he would have found writers that are fans. He wanted to do something new and to create something new. And you can create something new. I mean, Orville was entirely brand new. Orville was its own making. But you know what? It was faithful. And by being faithful, what it did was it actually became more Star Trek than what current Star Trek was doing at the time. And I think at the time, Star Trek Discovery was coming out. Strange New Worlds was on the precipice of coming out. And boy, has he, I'm assuming he's saying like shit the bed, like in a big way. And he did. He did. When you cater to a minority, you're only going to get minority to show up. His company is called Secret Hideout. I think he's going to need a secret hideout after destroying Star Trek for this latest generation. And this is why I talk about like everybody suffers through this because he made something that appealed to people. He did. And they fought for the show, whether they watched it or not. They fought for those ideals. They fought for something like this to be made in a universe similar to Star Trek. And what that does is you just hurt everyone. You just hurt everyone when you do something like that. Because now these modern fans have lost their show. It's gone. And the legacy fans have to watch you shit all over the very thing they've supported and helped kept alive all these decades. Starfleet Academy is an abomination. It is. It is. It's an abomination because it refuses to make any compromises to acknowledge anything other than the fact that it is riding on the coattails of success that brought it there. I could not get through 3 episodes of Discovery. It was just awful storytelling, just horrible, and they're more interested in corporate propaganda with any kind than any kind of personal propaganda. Is he correct? He's right on the money. Dude couldn't be more correct than what he's saying right here, right now. And the reason why he's correct about this is, one, because every time you hijack a show, anytime you hijack a video game, anytime you hijack a movie, it tends to struggle. It tends to be seen divisive. And a lot of people think they get the wrong idea and believe that the division is the bad guys stopping them from making something progressive. But in reality, the road to hell is paved in good intentions. So the reality of everything is you are being selfish, taking this for yourself, saying your time's up, our time's now, when in reality, Starfleet Academy probably would have a season 3 if it was its own entire thing. If they just inspired it to be like Star Trek, there is more potential for it to succeed, because all you're doing is you're catering to people who want something like that, but you're not stepping on the backs of those who allowed it to exist. So I'm glad to see this. I'm glad people are coming out and holding Kurtzman accountable, because shows are not supposed to exist to be relatable. Shows shouldn't exist to validate or conform anyone. Shows are like a modern day mythologies. They're there to tell a story. They're there to create a world, invite you into that world. And if you get enough people in that world, you can create a universe. But shows are not there to change the world. And that's where people get it twisted. They think they can make this show and they're going to go out there and change the minds of so many people, and the show sits there and it lectures you about these things. And they go and they say, well, all the other Star Treks were progressive, but the difference between old Star Trek and modern Star Trek and how those two things are progressive is that old Star Trek was empathetic in the way that it decided to send its message to you. A lot of modern day Star Trek, a lot of modern day writing is only trying to impose and have relatability. There is nothing wrong in relating to something. There is everything wrong in only writing a story to relate to people. And that's why the show fails. It's the difference between telling someone a story and lecturing someone on what to do. What is this here?
Ultramarines, Mr. Bond. How utterly predictable.
That's me, bro.
I cast the jump and put my 30 Orc boys directly behind your lines. now.
I would pay probably double. I would pay triple to watch James Bond, to watch a Henry Cavill James Bond play Warhammer against a villain of the series. You want to talk about writing that's relatable and not empathetic? That only caters and lectures? That would be my dream movie. Henry Cavill, James Bond playing Warhammer against a Bond villain. That movie would be made for no one else but me.
Will you save your reserves? Or put your tanks at the mercy of my stomper?
Here's the problem with this right here. There's an issue with this whole setup, and a Bond villain wouldn't play as orcs. Everyone who's an orc boy, they play freaking Taurens in World of Warcraft. Like, they're Hufflepuffs. They are chill, man. They're just there to have fun. I feel like a Bond villain would be Drakari, maybe even Tau. You would be like, oh, well, Tau, Mario. You know they'd be Tau. They'd be doing it for the greater good. Come on. That's my only critique with this.
Where, Mr. Bond? Ultramarines, Mr.
That's pretty good. Best we can do is 30-35% sale. There you go, boss. Your annual 90% sale. You can pay me later. Oh, shit. Best we can do is 30%. When it works, it fucking works. It fucking works. When it works, boys. When it works, it works. Expanse Osiris Reborn is looking good. Damn. She will kill billions. That's how you sell a game. We gotta watch it. No, we gotta watch it. I gotta see this. Oh, dang.
It was like another life. Everything made sense.
Maybe I should read these books. Don't they got a TV show out for this?
You're back already? Wait, so you flew in on that?
Now, every voice, a tight beam.
Protegen will easily turn this into a massacre if they want.
We need him alive!
Locked on to you, like a torpedo.
Dang! She looks like a freaking
The
Spartan.
universe never tells us if we did right or wrong.
Am I looking at Mass Effect? Am I looking at Mass Effect right now, guys? What?
Series belongs to Belters.
Oh, shit.
I didn't become a mercenary.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What was that? We got questions on the left side. We have push the dialogue forward, make a decision on the right side. Oh, you guys can't see it because I'm in the way. Bro, this looks like Mass Effect. This looks like Mass Effect, guys. Am I
I didn't become a mercenary to run away from my enemies.
Fear festering into hatred. Typical.
Surely a little gun doesn't scare you.
A Trojan horse.
Please let there be romance in this game. Please let there be romance in this game. Don't Outer Worlds me. Don't Outer Worlds me. Don't Outer Worlds me. Oh my.
Protogen let its own enemies in.
An enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Guys, this looks good. This looks good. Don't tease me with space combat.
We have to find our own answer.
Romance confirmed! Fall. Coming spring 2027? Closed beta April 22nd. Play anywhere. I think we have to. I think this is going to be my next most anticipated game. I think right now, this is the game that I want to play above all others. This and Exodus give me a lot of Mass Effect vibes. Finally, something to scratch that Mass Effect itch. I love grounded sci-fi. Spring 20. Yeah, that's it's a while. All right, you have me.
Typical.
Surely a little gun doesn't scare.
God damn! This franchise really took off. Remember when Leviathan Wakes was just an obscure one-off novel? Now it's a whole multimedia project. Getting good reception, guys. Good reception. Man, I am stoked for this game. I really hope it's everything. I really hope it's everything it says it is. What is this? Preview? Star Wars Zero Company?
I want to change the way we tell stories in the genre, and I want to make choice even more meaningful.
They always say that. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed they always say, I want to change the way we tell stories. I want to do it differently. Like, it's so generic. Yeah, I can always tell when someone says, like, when someone knows they're going to write something good versus when someone is kind of just full of it. And I don't know, right? I'm just like, this is always just a red flag for me because most of the time when you hear someone, they will talk about the thing that they want to change. They will talk about, or they don't even talk about change. They just say, hey, this is a man doing XYZ thing, or this is the person, they're like this, this, and that. And it's like they have a grasp and an understanding of what they're trying to produce and put out there. Whereas like when you hear like these Call of Duty devs or some of these other devs that are trying to impose a value onto you, a lot of times they just say very vague, woke, progressive, I want change, I want blah. We'll see. That's just, I'm 7 seconds in and it's already a red flag.
It have better frame rates, which means better graphics, better stories, because we can take a moment, have an immersive moment.
This one's actually doing it, and it looks really good, and it played really good.
That sounds good.
Star Wars Zero Company has been shrouded in mystery since its reveal last year, but the simple sell of Star Wars XCOM is tough to beat, especially since Studio BitReactor boasts a ton of X4Axis XCOM devs led by the series' former art director Greg Furch.
XCOM devs, huh?
And they were easily cleared. This is going to be
It's one of my favorite
not just
games
for tactics fans, but anyone who digs Star Wars or cinematic RPGs like Mass Effect. In addition to 4.5 hours of hands-on time with the game, I interviewed many of the devs behind it and dug into what you can expect from Zero Company when it releases later this year.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I wasn't allowed to capture footage of my play session, but
that
EA
sucks.
has provided screenshots and artwork to help illustrate the game's current state. Zero Company is a Clone Wars story. You'll play through a deep single-player campaign that pitches your squad against separatist droids, criminal gangs, and a new faction, the separatist-aligned cult, the Infinite Coil, who are bent on releasing a deadly plague across the galaxy which imbues unusual and superhuman abilities on the host.
Star Wars in the Clone Wars era were presented with a very specific, Republic-centered perspective.
Yeah.
But we know, as the audience, that the Republic becomes an empire eventually, and that maybe the perspective we're getting during the Clone Wars is sort of biased from a certain point of view. Having these
Obi-Wan.
conflicting ideologies was really interesting because we know the way that these ideologies will shake out. The dust will settle into an era of rebels and empire, of very light and dark, good and evil. But things aren't so clear during the Clone Wars era, and that makes for a really interesting opportunity to, present a player perspective.
You play as Hawks, a former Republic officer now lead.
I disagree with his analogy on Star Wars. But I do agree at the same time. I agree that things aren't so bleak or so like black and white. But when they say there's these conflicting ideologies, I'm curious if he's talking about separatist ideologies, because those don't really get explored until the Clone Wars animated TV show. And even when you say that, even Padme kind of sounds like a separatist because the Republic, let's just
an elite squad of professionals.
let's just get into it.
They're both your point of view character and a strong battlefield unit. Think Commander Shepard by way of one of those tactician characters from Fire Emblem.
You're not a lone hero, kind of standing up against the world, felling enemies, but with a swing of your blade. You're a relatively ordinary person. You're leading a tactical squad. You're leading an organization, but you have.
You get to customize your character, or
it's the fantasy of leading a squad and a management and organization. You experience the story directly. You're not a removed figure. You're there. I felt when I came out with the project that was intrinsic to making this a satisfying.
No, I think that's really good. I like that in Gears of War Tactics when the main characters are part of it. And even in XCOM, they did that. They would take some of the main characters in the DLC missions, and you use them in the DLC missions, and they have to stay alive, which adds a level of complexity to the mission, because there's a canon event you have to follow. And I would do that in XCOM. I would put myself in the game as a soldier.
Star Wars story. That's who we empathize with. The people who kind of get dirty and are boots on the ground with it. So that's why Hawks has that role.
Yeah.
I think the thing that surprised me the most was how RPG it is. You're talking to people, you're making choices. It feels like you're Commander Shepard on the Normandy in between missions.
That's cool.
These authored heroes.
They did that in Warhammer Rogue Trader.
Gunslingers, or an Umbaran sniper, a clone soldier. These really iconic, archetypes from the Clone Wars era. Clone soldier.
There's nothing iconic about this. This guy looks like a freaking knockoff Mr. Freeze. All right, nobody wants this as a Jedi. Okay, no, the bounty hunter, yes. The clone trooper, yes. These two guys, get rid of them. Get rid of them. Replace it with a hot Jedi. And replace these with two hot chicks. That's it. Get rid of these guys. Just get them out of here.
It's really iconic, archetypes from the Clone Wars era.
And so what is really fun about this game is having different perspectives, having the Republic perspective from Bennett, having the Separatist perspective from Runa, having someone like me who's from the underworld who's just here to make a quick credit,
Having them
introduced
into
the bounty hunter is Bounty hunter is a separatist. Okay.
Story of Zero Company and recruited in the squad one by one provides us a lot of momentum to kind of like carry you through the game. And there's, you know, as they come into the squad, they bring their own personal conflicts and dramas with them.
Even just like these snippets of these characters, like it was not hammy, you know, superhero stuff. It was genuinely funny moments. The characters really were kind of coming off the screen a little bit. It was exciting.
We also have
Who
our
knows?
bond system.
Who knows?
Zero Company squad
With no
grows
evidence.
and becomes actually more
Or you can only
capable.
take his word for it.
Two heroes can actually cross-train and learn each other's abilities as their bond and their affinity.
Oh, that's really
It
cool.
rewards you for the squad that you put together.
Who the fuck are these people? She needs to be hotter. She needs to be hotter. Nope. Twi'leks they're slaves and they're whores. She doesn't look like either one of them. She looks like a soldier who decided to make the squad wait because she was putting her makeup on. No. One of the
Together, and it rewards the way that you play.
Yeah,
okay, so seeing this right here, I'm guessing you're getting more squad mates. God, these guys look so ugly. You couldn't make them look cooler? I mean, this is Clone Wars era. Why are you making them look like they're from the 80s, the Rebels era? I mean, the Clone Wars is supposed to be like the raging 20s, man. Have some freaking style to go along with what you're wearing, man. Like, Padme was dripped out, bro. Come on, like, shit. I'm guessing you get new squad mates. I don't know if these are just like random people like in XCOM that can die off and they're not part of like the main cast and crew, but
For the squad that you put together, and
They
it
look
rewards
generic.
the way that you play.
they look
Yeah,
way
we hope
more
you care about
generic
these
than this
characters, and
character.
I know I do, especially as I'm building bonds with them and they start to become more and more powerful.
Okay, you can customize them.
In my play session, so when I walk by, I want to see what they're decorating their desk with, their who they're hanging out with between missions.
When I
It's really
walk
critical
by.
to be allowed for bonds to decay. And
Interesting. So yeah, they keep talking about Mass Effect. He just talked about walking by. We're getting snippets. Is this your character? This is Nick Conda. And then you get to customize his appearance. Jeez Louise, they need better clothes. They
Fracture as well.
They need
due to
better
your
clothes.
actions, because that's part of the fantasy of being a leader.
Like, that guy
It's
looks
sort of like
cool.
this
that guy looks fine.
spy
Simplistic.
detective element
Really
to Zero
cool.
Company. It's the war within the war.
Blade
It's sort of
Runner
like, it's
trench
not the
coat.
massive battles of clone troopers and battle droids. It's, you know, these small theaters of war and low intensity conflict. That kind of brings with it a little bit of that sort of like spy thriller angle.
Yeah.
And the really shocking thing is, like, you know, the main story missions, you'll go in there and you'll have like a third-person action camera. Like, it looks like Jedi Survivor or something, and you'll be, you know, walking around as if it were an action.
Interesting.
Game. And
It's
like,
giving.
amazing,
I'm wondering if it's gonna
AAA
play like
production
Rogue
values.
Really,
Trader
that immersion into
with
these
just more
different planets
high-tech
you get to go down was what
immersive
drove
features.
that desire to have those
And then it-
free
and then
roam
it
moments.
zooms out
And we often
into
sometimes call them on team like our deep breath
a top-down
moments. It's kind of that
tactics.
chance for someone who just had their tactical combat experience, and then they get a minute.
That
to
looks
kinda
cool.
collect themselves.
F that
take
guy
in the
up.
environment,
Why is
take
the
in the
villain
world,
got
take
more
in the
drip
visuals,
than? Look at
and
it.
kind of prep for
That's fucking drip right there. That's a character that should be on the squad.
kind of that next tactical engagement where then your kind of heart gets pumping again.
And then you reach a fight, and it zooms all the way out to like the XCOM.
That's exactly what I said.
This
Yep.
one's actually doing
Yep.
it, and it looks really good.
Yep.
Played really good.
This innovative combination of third-person exploration, RPG storytelling, and
There you go. Don't know what her clothes look like, but there you go.
Is less surprising when you learn more about who's making this game. While developer BitReactor is a brand new studio, the team features alumni from Respawn's Jedi series, as well as strategy game veterans from Firaxis. Founder Greg Furch spent 2 decades at Firaxis refining the turn-based tactics experience with games like XCOM, Civilization, and Marvel's Midnight Suns.
There you go.
You know, I had left Firaxis after...
Love
20
XCOM
years,
too.
And I was kind of working on what I wanted to do next. I knew I wanted to stay in tactics.
Marvel's
and
Midnight
definitely
Suns.
had
I
an
never
axe to
played that.
grind
I
with the
didn't realize that
genre.
was
There's
a
so much more we can
turn-based
do.
tactics game.
It was a Friday
Maybe
night.
I'll
I got
play
a
it now.
call out of nowhere. I'm sitting in my office with the lights out and my computer on, and wife's asleep, my kids are asleep, and phone rings. And it's this number that I don't recognize. And I'm like,
And the
For
character
some reason, I answered.
customization, you think they're going to put a boob or
The
butt
voice on the
slider in
line
it?
said, "Hey Greg, this is Vince Zampella. I heard you have a game you want to make. Can you tell me about it?" And
Oh,
we talked for a long time, and he eventually said, "You know, like, do you think you can make a Star Wars game with this?" And I said, "Sure, absolutely." Meanwhile, I'm thinking, this is insane, right? Like, this is crazy. It's Star Wars. And Vince was just like, "Pitch me."
We worked with Respawn for a long time. We've worked with Electronic Arts for a long time, and we've been wanting to make
Good shit.
a game in this genre. We know that the turn-based
looks cool. Looks cool. Looks cool. So I'm confused as to what those other characters were.
tactics genre just rewards meaningful choice. And when you take that genre and you add it to a brand like ours that drives some meaningful choice,
There's one of the
you know,
generic
we knew
characters.
that
God
would be
damn, it's a
something
lot
that
of
would
people.
make fans happy. And that's where Greg starts talking about, I want to change the way we tell stories in the genre, and I want to make choice even more meaningful, and
There you
want
go.
to present things in a more cinematic fashion.
It's so easy for
Yeah.
genre fans to kind of wear it as a badge of like, oh, the art doesn't matter, the graphics don't matter, the story doesn't matter, it's all about the gameplay. It is. The gameplay is what it is about. But
I respect this. I respect this because it is tough. Like at the end of the day, yeah, gameplay matters. But if you could also push the boundaries of expectation, you're now setting a new bar for everyone else to meet, which only comes back for the consumer. It only does well for them.
it doesn't cost you elegance. You can absolutely have all those other things.
Doesn't cost you
It's
elegance.
a single player game. There's not latency issues. You should have
Good.
better frame rates, which means better graphics.
There she is. I told you. I told you this should be a character. This right here. Good. This is a good character design. This good. That's an enemy. See, the enemies. I'm not gonna worry
than
about it
other
now.
games. You should have better stories because we can take the camera and tell you a story. We take a moment, have an immersive moment, without it really changing your flow because it's
Yeah.
expected. Genre fans got conditioned to believe that they shouldn't have these things.
Yeah.
But we're here to tell you you can have both.
Good. That's good.
When he was building the studio,
I like
it was
that.
really important to him that he had experienced devs making.
I'm
turn-based strategy games. And
I'm
that
kind of looking forward to
that
this
were
game.
Experienced devs that have not made strategy games that come from other genres.
You know,
I
here
think
are,
we
we're
need
brand
more
new studio.
Twi'leks or
We have a
Twi'leks
cult pedigree in
to
a space, and there's
you know, wear
almost 20 of us
slave
that work
outfits
together
more
before,
often,
so we're
but
not really a garage shop. We're a new studio. You know, you've got these two
sometimes you can
giants
only take your
taking
cake.
a chance on someone like us, having the vision and the courage and the conviction and the faith in us, right? Like to do something new, to do something outside of their norms. I think that's worth mentioning. It's just not common anymore. It's been amazing.
Once you get into
guy
combat,
looks
your
so
company should be
stupid.
immediately familiar if you've played XCOM before.
It feels deep. It felt like I could have played a lot cleaner and was, you know, I had fights where I barely scraped by.
I like that.
really enjoy the puzzles that I get to solve
I like
in those spaces. It's like, oh, wait a minute. Okay,
being
I need to
challenged.
get enough advantage to do this. How am I going to make that happen right now?
Mhm,
This
mhm.
unit might be able to take a couple of shots over here. Then I'm going to be able to go and use my rocket jump over to here. Now, after I do that and knock those units back, maybe they'll go into Overwatch. It's that plotting and planning and then execution.
Sound
of
like it's
my
going to be a
plan
really fun, addicting
that's
game.
rewarding, and then having the challenges
70% chance to do 6
to give
damage.
me novel, unique
I got a
situations,
lot of
so that I
health.
can't fall into
38
a predictable
health, and you're
pattern or
doing
strategy
10
all the time.
damage.
Those moments just feel good. They're the moments you tell your friends about when you're playing.
That scares me. I'm assuming that's 10 damage. I don't like the idea that things are freaking bullet sponges. I don't like the idea of things being bullet sponges.
So that I can't fall into a predictable pattern or strategy all the time. Those moments just feel good. They're the moments you tell your friends about when you're playing a game.
As with XCOM, your squad consists of 4 operators. This stops the action from getting too overwhelming, according to its developers.
Yeah.
Most of the games in this particular genotype
let me get up to
game
6.
have landed in the 4 to 6 units range.
There,
If you
see,
start to get
exactly.
below 4 units,
Exactly.
the Razor's
Let me get
potential
up to
losing a unit
6.
becomes potentially catastrophic. Similarly, if you go much above 6 units, the camera needs to pull out higher. You need to see
Yeah.
more of the battle space.
Yeah.
There need
Yeah,
to
it
be
does
more
get
enemy
pretty
units
annoying.
on the field for you to deal
It
with.
can be-
and
those
that often
controls
results
can
in
be super
simplifying
annoying.
the action space of each individual unit so that the player can parse everything that they're dealing with. So for this particular type of tactics game where you move your whole team at one time and then you rotate to the enemy team and they take their whole turn at one time, 4 to 6 tends to be a pretty playable place for that game.
Interesting. It's not going back and forth.
It all feels super tense in a very similar way.
It's
to
not
XCOM.
going
Even
back
with
and
RPG
forth.
elements, there's never that sense of
It's your
snowballing
turn then my
invincibility you
turn.
get with
I
an
will admit
overpowered build.
I do prefer the it's your turn then my turn method. Especially in Dungeons and Dragons, because then everyone gets to kind of like play. You don't have to wait 5 years for everything to happen, for a certain character to go. You don't have to sit there and watch them get dicked or spend eternity waiting for them to go, and then when it's their time to go, they don't really get to do anything. That was like a big issue for me in Rogue Trader, was that like I had a really good character, but then like because my initiative was so bad, I just wait 5 years before I finally just got to pop off, which made me want to dump stats into his initiative, but then was like, ugh, then I won't be so good at popping off. So I basically just, this awesome character I got to use, I made, never really got to get a lot of usage. So this like Fire Emblem way of playing, it is, I think, preferred, especially when they're doing this whole relationship thing, because they did that in Fire Emblem on the 3DS. I forgot which one was called. The one with like Chrom and you know, Matt Mercer voicing him. So you had these characters go at the same time. You could choose who you wanted them to bond with, and then you could go in and talk to them after the fact. I think that's absolutely freaking awesome that we're getting that in a tactics-based game. I really like that in Rogue Trader, but Rogue Trader was so... Two things were wrong with Rogue Trader in that aspect. One, it was so linear in the way that I was trying to tell its story. And then two, but the end, I say that, but there are plenty of subtle choices you can make in Rogue Trader that make it very much replayable. Like you immediately want to go back and replay it. But the second thing was the amount of dialogue was way too overwhelming in that game. You're basically reading a book. So yeah, coming from all the tactic games I've played, I do like the whole like Alien Initiative, then Human Initiative, XCOM style, Fire Emblem style type of play. It is also like very nerve-wracking, especially if you make a mistake and you see the enemy team completely and utterly just like coordinate against your bad positioning. You're just it feels more punishing, which creates more of a challenge in that regards. Also, another scary thing here, we see 36 health with 2 armor, 8 damage. So I'm doing 6 damage, leaving him at 30 health. And we've already seen these other guys have about 30 health as well. So, and I have 47 health with 3 armor. I feel like they got to lower the health. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's like 3 shots and you kill this person. So I wonder if this game's going to play more like Warhammer. So you know, like the way to play Warhammer is you take each of your units and you have multiple units fire upon one unit to take out an entire unit. I feel like that's how I feel like that's how this game is going to end up playing. It's going to be like a team effort, which helps create the relationships. That makes more sense. What game is this? This is, I forgot. It's Star Wars Zero Company. So that's what's coming out. It's going to be a turn-based tactical shooter game. That's what this is. That I think that's why they have probably so much health, is because if you help someone kill another person, you've now created a bond with that person. So it's like you're now what you're doing is and this is me assuming based on looking at screenshots, but now what you're doing is you're taking these units and now they're kind of like playing together without pairing them up. So that way they like grow a bond with one another and then, take out people. So it makes me wonder if you could play like matchmaker in that way, where you can like get your game. Does it seem good? It seems mechanically good. I'm curious about how the story's gonna play, but it's made by the people who made XCOM. So if you ever played XCOM, this might be a game that's for you, and it's Star Wars.
Baldur's Gate 3. And there's the ever-present threat that any of your guys, including the named hero operators, can be killed permanently.
Oh, he said it. He answered my question for me. So there's named hero operators, and then there's going to be generic losers. That's why the named hero operators look so much better than those freaking ragtag makeup plastered Twi'leks that look like they're dressed in the 80s in the Rebel era.
It's beloved as Cab Uppercut, or one-armed.
See, that's a character.
He can just catch a blaster bolt and be gone very, very, very early in the game, and the story has to go on with him.
I like
really
that.
Heightens
that's
the
really cool.
You feel because
it's tough because they have to put an Iron Man mode into the game. I mean, I don't know if I have the discipline to let a character die. Like, I have the discipline to let just a random person die, but to let like a character I've grown attached to or that has a story connected to them die, that'd be rough.
How that soldier going down has a lot higher stakes.
Yeah.
And you're like, do I let them die or do I get them? What's my opportunity cost here? How am I going to sort this out?
Star Wars is about loss. I mean, 4 years old watching Obi-Wan Kenobi die, right? Like, also
Sure.
as a developer, wanting people to not save stone, but to push through the loss. Like, what's
That's a tough one to do. How do you get people not to save scum?
It's like hiding your feelings. It's like, I'm just not going to let it die. It's part of what the genre can do so well because it's about a group of characters. I can lose one, and it's not game over.
We'll see.
If you want to have a Star Wars story-driven experience with a cast of really like well-realized, authored characters that we poured a lot of love into, it's there for you. But if you want to roll with your own team, you can absolutely do that as well. And we spared no expense to try and make that, just a satisfying experience for the player.
Can I put my Twi'lek in a Princess Leia slave costume? Can I get a fat alien dude and put him in a Princess Leia slave outfit? If I cannot, then I care not for these customizable characters.
This degree of customization in squad makeup allows for some unusual builds.
Okay.
The astromech droids in the game are support units with extra utility slots for grenades and the like, and designer James Brawley is very passionate about squads consisting solely of R2's D2.
I always wanted astromechs to be a playable unit in the squad. I always wanted to give them a special place as
it's just like that one episode, one of George Lucas's favorite episodes in Clone Wars.
One of my fondest gaming memories was going back to the original Final Fantasy and playing through the entire game with 4 white mages. Which made the game phenomenally difficult in the first
I could imagine
gameplay. But then eventually, it turns out that that's actually an incredibly powerful solution to almost every problem in the later games. So always in the back of my head, I was like, what if you played through the game with 4 astromechs? I wanted that to be possible. It's going to be pretty interesting because a lot of your combat capabilities, if you do that, are going to be defined by your ownership of the utility items in the game and which ones you can bring on the squad. That's where all of your offensive capability is going to come from in that case.
Zero Company is...
I appreciate when guys like this are working on games, because when you have a guy like this making a game, he's a gamer. He's someone who plays these games. He's someone who enjoys these games. He's the guy who's been playing this since Final Fantasy's been out. What is so great is that he knows how some weirdo is going to come in and try to F up the system and try to push it and challenge it. And the issue with a lot of games today is that they don't let developers like this guy really cook. Because when someone plays the game wrong, a lot of times the game will just punish the player. And you want guys like this going in there, making stupid mechanics for those weird players, so that way they can do stuff like have an all mech team. I think when I hear stuff like that, it makes me want to support the game even more. That tells me that this is being made with love and passion.
Your offensive capability is going to come from in that case.
Yeah.
Zero Company is a great tactics game, and if you've been craving something to hit that XCOM 2 sweet spot, your wait will soon be over. But what really surprised me was BitReactor's emphasis on storytelling and presentation, all without sacrificing any of that tactical depth. I think that combination is going to really push this game over the top and make it one to watch later this year.
These
For all things
cutscenes.
Star Wars Zero Company, head over
Are they just for the
PCGamer.com,
trailer?
and for
Because
more
what if my
previews of the
Jedi
latest upcoming
died?
games, subscribe to PC Gamer
Does my
here.
cutscene go away?
I'm told Scott put something for you to click on to subscribe when I said here. Please.
This has to just be like an opening cutscene or just for the trailer, because I can't unless they make cutscenes for every single moment. Now that'd be freaking cool. All right, guys, we're gonna move over to play some more games.